stay with me. You'll be fine. You see all the fun stuff. Please ask lots of questions. Right? If you see something you don't know about or you want to know more, please ask. I'm happy to answer your questions. If I don't know the answer to your question, I will just make something up because you don't know things. And that just makes me look good. So, but no, please, lots of questions. Lots of photos. There's nothing you're going to see today that you can't take a picture of. If you need assistance with a photo, I'm happy to help you take a picture. If you want a family photo, I'm happy to help out. Just let me know. And feel free to interrupt me anytime with a question or a comment or whatever. I'm happy to do that. A couple of things I want to also talk to you about just being out here. You wouldn't know it, but years ago, this was 160 acres of farmland. And so this is beans. Beans were a real big crop in Orange County. We had lima beans were huge, walnuts, orange groves, and alfalfa. 160 acres, 4 farms. Same acreage as Disneyland, also made up of 2 farms, 160 acres. But so now, as you notice, we've got a nice big ballpark here instead of farmland. We opened our doors in April of 1966, but the team started playing in 1961 in Los Angeles as the Los Angeles Angels. We started playing a little ballpark, a minor league park called Wrigley Field. And then in 1962, we moved into brand new Dodger Stadium. Although we didn't refer to it as Dodger Stadium. We called it Chavez Ravine Stadium. We let the Dodgers call it Dodger Stadium. And then a little later, after 4 years there, we moved down here. We'll talk more about that once we get inside. A couple other things. Now, what do we call this place? It's had a few names, different iterations. Anaheim Stadium, Edison Field at Anaheim Stadium. I think it's up here, the Angel Stadium at Anaheim. Nobody calls it any of those things, okay? And there's a reason why.
The big A.
You can't see it too well, but out in our east parking lot, there's
big
a
A.
230-foot high big red A out in that parking
So we'll
lot.
call it Big
So
A.
we're called the Big A. Everybody in baseball talks about the Big A. If you're going to see the Angels, you're going to the Big A. And that's always been the case. Now that Big A has not always been in our parking lot. That was our scoreboard. When this stadium opened, it was painted white, it was behind the left field fence, and that was our scoreboard. And I know because I was here. Yes, I am that old. I was 7 years old when the team started playing in 1966, and I've been coming ever since, off and on, and I've been working here for 3 seasons. So it's kind of a dream come true for a kid who grew up just down the road in Garden Grove to find himself working in Major League Baseball for the hometown team. So that's kind of fun. A couple things else about the front that are unique to this stadium as opposed to any other stadium in baseball. If you turn around, see those folks over there taking photos? Well, that is a Major League sized infield that they're standing on. The dimensions are exactly the same as they are inside. If you look real close, you'll see first base right there in the ground. And they're 9 feet apart. We got bases all the way around. Pitcher's mound right there, same distance, 60 feet 6 inches from home plate, just like it is inside the stadium. And those green bricks that simulate the grass, actually you can buy one of those bricks in the team store. And they'll put your name on it and they'll insert that brick in the infield. Even if you don't live in the area.
Do you want to get one? The brick over there. Do you want to get one? We can buy it.
Well, you know, that's not our job. Now, by the other tour, we're going to get you a red shirt. So that's the goal. The other thing
Let's
that's
get
unique
some
out
red
there
shirt.
are big hats. No other team in baseball's got big giant hats out front. Now these were done in the 90s when we did a remodel. Now what's unique about that, if you have a hat, you'll know if it's not adjustable, it's sized, right? So it's a 7 1/4, 7 1/2. This has an official size of 649.5 inches around. So we are still waiting for that fan who can fit this hat. If you know somebody with a big head, send it down here. Then the hat's theirs. The other hat under that, that's our Fox Sports West broadcast booth, our pregame and postgame TV broadcasts are done over there. I'm sure you've seen them. If you've been to games, folks line up behind the barrier, they jump up and down, they wave, and they try to get on TV, say hi, Mom. They do all that kind of stuff. My wife hates it when I do that, but I really enjoy it. So it's a lot of fun. And then, of course, the other thing was, who took a picture with Mickey? Raise your hands. Come on, be honest. See, there we go. Mickey is very important here. We have a very long-standing relationship with Disney Corporation. They didn't own the team for a short while, but Mickey goes back a long way for this team. But that Mickey showed up in 2010 when we hosted the All-Star Game. But he wasn't the only baseball Mickey created for that All-Star Game. Disney Corporation made 30 of those, all in the various team colors of all the teams in baseball.
Oh.
Now, we did a little bit of a trick there before the All-Star Game. and we hid, not really hid, it's kind of hard to hide those, but those 30 Mickeys were placed all over Orange County at unique locations. And if you got the local paper, the Register, there was a clue in the paper every day leading up to the All-Star game, and you could go find Mickey, all right? So kind of a scavenger hunt. So we had Mickey's down at the end of the Huntington Beach Pier, over at South Coast Plaza, big famous shopping center, Anaheim City Hall, of course, all over the place. And people could track down, keep score. You won some kind of prize if you got all the Mickeys. Well, after the game was over, those Mickeys were packaged up, boxed up, and sent to all the teams in baseball. So there are some teams who display their Mickey. The Yankees display their Mickey still. The Rockies display their Mickeys. I think one of the Chicago teams, I think it might be the White Sox. So he's still around. Here we are 9 years later, and Mickey still makes appearances. I just figure a lot of the teams, once they got there, the general manager just took it home, let his kids play with it. I don't know. But we love Mickey out front, and Mickey is the most photographed person at this stadium. He is more popular than Mike Trout. If you come to a game, you will always see people taking pictures of Mickey, and we love that. So we love just being a stone's throw from Disneyland. Any questions before we head inside? All right, follow me this way. I'm Greg. Who are you? We're going to stop right here for a second. So one more unique feature that I wanted to point out is not only can you get your name in those green bricks over there if you want to purchase a brick, but at the defensive positions where a player would take up his defensive positions around the diamond and in the outfield, we have bricks with players' names on them. So I stopped here at the center field bricks just to give you an example. So what we've done is we've put in the names of every opening day starter at that position. So this is center field. So in 1961, when the team first started playing, Ken Hunt was the opening day center fielder. So if you look around, you'll see who the opening day center fielder was in left field or second base or behind the plate at catcher, even DH over at home plate. But of course, the one we're really tracking, that's right here. That's Mr. Mike Trout over here. And now Mike Trout signed a big contract extension in the offseason. So we're gonna have Mike Trout bricks to about here. We're very excited about that. And he'll go from here and he'll go walk right into the Hall of Fame wearing an Angels cap. We're very excited about that. But it's a lot of fun to look at some of these names because there are names you'll recognize. If you walk around out here in the field, take a look at some of those names. It's like, oh, I know who that is. There's also names you won't recognize. A lot of journeyman players, but the Angels have had some Hall of Famers come through here as well. It's really hard to talk over the helicopter, so let's go inside. Come on in.
Missed Mike.
Slide down a little bit, make room for everybody. There we go. So of course, we want to start off with our pride and joy, and that is our official World Series Championship trophy. Something the Texas Rangers are still working on getting, but you know, maybe you'll get there. But that is the official trophy that was awarded to the Angels after the 2002 World Series. So we're very excited. That is the trophy, and each of the players received a miniature version of that trophy to take home. It's kind of like when you're Little League and you get a trophy at the end of a year, but a little more important. I've seen a couple of those, and they're pretty cool. So that's kind of fun. But we love showing off our trophy. Only have the one. We're hoping that as the years go by, we will collect more. That is the goal of every team in baseball, for sure. But a couple of fun things in the case here I wanted to share. One is, you all know after a team wins the World Series, that the players get a special World Series ring, right? Well, we had a very unique thing happen with our team after that 2002 World Series, is that some of the players, they all chipped in money, and they bought us, the fans, an official World Series ring. And so that's what's right there, real diamonds, red rubies make the A, and that's the real thing. They coughed up about $10,000 to buy that ring for us to display for all you folks. Now to put that in perspective, that $10,000, in 2016, when the Cubs won the World Series for the first time in forever, their owner bought players' rings that cost $100,000 a piece for the players. So 10 times what that cost. So now that's not true of every time anybody now wins the World Series, do they spend that much. But it had been a long time, and of course the Cubs ownership, they were pretty excited about winning the World Series. So the owner kind of spared no expense to award the players some very nice rings. The other couple of cool fun things here. Now we were owned by the Disney Corporation when we won the World Series, so of course we had to have a victory parade down Main Street, USA in Disneyland up there on the top. That was one of two victory parades. One was also held right out here in the city of Anaheim, and we had a big victory celebration in our parking lot right out front of the hats and out here. Very nice. The other thing showed up one day at the office. We've got this crystal baseball and bat that just showed up from the Waterford Crystal Company. They just shipped it to us with a note that said, "Congratulations on winning the World Series. Congratulations, Waterford Crystal Company." Yeah, so we proudly displayed that. That was a very nice, unique gift. Now the other thing is, now you locals, if you watch the Angels, you should know who this is. Can you tell me who this furry guy is down here? Who is that? Shout it out if you know it. That's the Rally Monkey, that's right. We are the only team in baseball with a Rally Monkey. Rally Monkey appeared in June of 2000 as sort of a gimmick, a way to get the crowd excited. You know how teams, they put stuff on the scoreboard to get people to start clapping and yelling and whistling and making noise and getting loud and do all that kind of stuff to get you riled up. Well, we use the Rally Monkey in only unique circumstances. When the Angels are behind in a game, late in the game, it's got to be 7th inning or later, Angels are behind, we get a runner on base, the Rally Monkey shows up because we want to get the crowd excited and we want to encourage the team to start a rally to come back and win that ball game. So he appeared June 2000, he shows up on the screen late in the game, the place goes crazy. Never seen him before. He's jumping up and down. They put the words Rally Monkey underneath him. Everybody went crazy. The fans are going nuts. Lots of whistling and clapping and screaming and stomping and all that going on. Well, what happened? Team came back to win the ball game. So we have empirical evidence that the Rally Monkey has very magical, mystical baseball powers. And in fact, I have been at games where the Rally Monkey has appeared and the team has come back to win the game. So I know he has unique powers. I know that for a fact. Now, the other thing that's interesting, when Disney sold the team after winning the World Series in 2002 to our current owner, Mr. Moreno. Mr. Moreno, of course, he got everything. He got the whole team. He got the baseballs, the bats, the batting helmet. He got everything, except he didn't get the marketing rights to the monkey. Disney kept that. So Disney continues to receive profits on all the sales of the Rally Monkey. Now, I hear those Disney folks know a few things about merchandising, commercializing, and marketing, so they're probably pretty smart about those things. So here we are all these years later, and they're still collecting residuals off the Rally Monkey. The last thing I want to show you is now that World Series in 2002 came down to a 7th game. Playing the San Francisco Giants, came down to the seventh game, the final game of the series here in Anaheim. The last out was a fly ball to center field. So that's the ball that went up in the air and was caught by our center fielder, Darren Erstadt. That's the glove that Darren Erstadt was wearing. That's his game jersey from that game. And if you turn around and look at this mural on the wall, that's what it was like when he caught that ball. So pandemonium ensued. Very excited. The Angels won their first World Series. So the fans are going crazy, the players, the coaches. We got a coach over here doing some kind of a happy dance. I don't know what that's about. but it was a really exciting time. Remember, we're playing the Giants. So there was a Giants runner on second base, 2 outs. Fly ball goes up, that runner takes off heading for home, and here he is after he rounded third, head for home, Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, who never won a World Series. It breaks my heart. We're gonna head this way, follow. Yeah, we got a big lobby here. Come on in, fill in. Come on this way. All right. Come on, everybody, come on in. You got everybody? Okay, yeah. Come on, step in this way. So before we head into the elevators, I just want to point out these photos. They're not just random photos put up here. You know the old saying, every picture tells a story. These all have a story to tell. This one over here, you see Mike Trout. That's in 2012. That was Mike Trout's first full season in the major leagues, playing center field for the Angels. And that's Mike Trout leaping high above the wall in Baltimore. Pretty good vertical leap for a guy, not bad, huh? And jumping to clear the fence and rob Baltimore shortstop J.J. Hardy of a sure home run. Now, what's special about this photo is Mike Trout grew up in Millville, New Jersey. That's in South New Jersey. It's about a 2-hour drive from Baltimore. So a lot of his friends, guys he played baseball with in high school, family, they all drove down to Baltimore to watch this game. And you'll see some of those folks, because they're above Mike Trout, they're those folks in the red shirts there. So those are folks from his hometown. They're big Mike Trout friends and fans. So that play, of course, was pretty dynamic and showed up on Sports Center and every other sports highlight show across the country and put Mike Trout on the nationwide baseball map. And so in baseball, in Angel baseball history, that's referred to as the catch. And now what's interesting about that is that after he makes this catch, it was the 3rd out, so of course he's all excited, he heads back to the dugout, but he stops as he's jogging back and he turns around and he looks up at his friends. You can see him, you watch it on YouTube, and he kind of smiles. He's got a little grin on his face. You know, he didn't wave or anything, but he kind of looked at him, you know, give him a little head nod. But it was real sweet. But that was a big play in Mike Trout's young career. Now over here, of course, this was before last season. That's when we had signed Shohei Ohtani, the best player in Japanese baseball, to a contract. And he chose the Angels. He could have chosen any team in baseball, and he picked us. And we're glad he did. Quite the two-way player. Showed himself to be very effective as a pitcher as well as a hitter. Next year, we're hoping we'll see him back in the pitching rotation. We can certainly use him. But that's the day that his signing was announced to the press and to the fans. The demand from people who wanted to be here for that event, which is usually held upstairs, was so huge. Thousands of people wanted to show up for this. They had to move it outside by the hats where we were, because we had about 3,000 people show up that day out front just to see him be introduced. Also, we've got another Mike Trout photo over here. You'll kind of, if you haven't figured it out already, Mike Trout's kind of a big deal here. So we talk about Mike Trout a lot. And this is special because this is the evening that Mike Trout hit for the cycle. So he had a single, a double, a triple, and a home run all in the same game. And what's special about this was after his home run. He is the youngest player in the history of the American League to hit for the cycle. He was 21 years old when he did that. And then last but not least, we have our future Hall of Famer, Albert Pujols, our first baseman designated hitter. This was his big press day, introduction day, just like Shohei Ohtani. Also, the demand was huge from the fans and from the press, so we held that event out front too as well. So to welcome him to Anaheim. We're going to go upstairs, and we're going to need to use both elevators, so I'm going to need I need an adult to volunteer to run the second elevator. No, you're not an adult. I need help from somebody, please. Somebody step forward and raise a hand. Anybody can push a button. All right, there you go. You come on in here. What do you want me to do? I'll tell you. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Once the door closes, ring up, and then room number 3.
3? Okay.
That's about right.
Did you say down?
Three 哦，你让他是你看。
Hold your breath.
Oh, it's not closing.
Yeah, too close.
Not everybody Russian.
Yeah, right.
Press and media，还有那个媒体的地方。嗯？哪里？就是座位那个地方。
Otherwise, come on in here.
我看到那个 race，就上次我们比赛那个。
Yeah, feel free to sit anywhere you like. We got a few minutes. We'll wait for some folks. But if you haven't figured it out, this is our large press conference room. So as I mentioned, excuse me, downstairs in the elevator lobby, we typically would have our major baseball press announcements, like when we introduce a new player, would be held in this room. We've got a raised platform in the back for TV cameras. Got this set up here, a dais up here, so you've got the player, the manager, maybe the general manager, sitting up there to take photos and answer questions and do all that stuff. But again, as I mentioned, the demand was so huge for Albert Pujols and Shohei Ohtani, they had to do that outside. So, and then we use this room for all kinds of other things. This room's used just for meetings. Departmental meetings, folks who work here, they'll have meetings in here. We have private meetings, private events. You can rent this room if you want to. If you want to have a birthday party, you can rent this room. You can rent out a lot of space in this day around the stadium. We have restaurants, full-service restaurants are available. You can set those aside for a private event. We've had folks get married at home plate. They've held their wedding reception in this room. Also, downstairs in the Diamond Club restaurant, we've had receptions. We just had a reception there 2 weekends ago. My wife is planning my memorial service for this room. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do for this in this room. It's pretty a lot of fun. So, think about it, especially when you got a birthday coming up. You come all the way from Texas for a nice birthday party. It'd be worth it. We'll make it worth your while. But it's a lot of fun. But we have folks, in fact, there's a company not far from here, east of here, in Corona, a little town called Corona. It's a ladies' activewear company called LuLaRoe. And they had their big annual meeting a couple of years ago. And they sell women's leggings and tops and things like that. And they do it like Amway Products and Mary Kay Cosmetics. You've got all these women sales associates all over the country. And they sell these products out of their home. But they have a big annual meeting somewhere around the country. They had it here in Anaheim two summers ago. And LuLaRoe pretty much rented out the entire stadium for a weekend. They had meetings in here, cocktail receptions, dinners. They even flew in Katy Perry for a private concert to sing to their sales folks. So they rented out the field, had a stage erected. They paid Katy Perry $250,000 to come sing to their sales folks. And they paid us about $1 million to use all the space they used in the stadium for that weekend. Now again, it doesn't take that much to rent this room. So, if you want to do something special, you can go small, but we have lots of great ideas and great special events people to do that. This is a great, you can come up here, it's a great place for photos if you want to come sit up here and you can prove to people you were at Anaheim Stadium, Angel Stadium, and had your picture taken, especially from out of town. Come on, Texas. Come on. And come on up here and sit down and get some photos. Please feel free. Oh, see, you're just in time. You want your picture taken, don't you? You can go right up there and sit down and have your photo taken.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
What are you doing?
You can sit up there and get your picture taken.
Yeah, take a picture.
We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, I want to be the coach.
I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me have
Ladies
your,
have green, I've been the center since they all have red.
let me have your phone.
Oh, okay.
I think
Okay, folks, you ready?
Now we're talking. Somebody's got to get this party going.
Next time. I just did.
Oh, it's looking at, I don't have the glasses on.
Is it not-
It's
is it
looking at me.
myself? Oh, it's looking at you. Okay,
Turn
that's
it
right.
around.
Here we go.
There we go. All right. All right, ladies. Here we go. On three. we say angels. 1, 2, 3, angels.
Angels.
There we go. Very nice.
Ah, thank you.
You bet. Have a look at that. Make sure it's okay. Anybody else? Come on up.
All right.
你帮我拍照片吗？
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That was very good.
Yeah. Any questions from anybody so far? We good so far? All right. I'm doing a great job. Yes, of course.
可能是那个特殊儿童，这班每个人都怪怪的。
张哥，你要去吗？张哥，张哥，你去吗？张哥，是我。真宇选手有这么这样子的。
All right. 1, 2.
我正好坐在这里。
这个当我们内景照，看一个当我们内景照。
Anyone else? Really? Come on. Now's your chance. Who knows when you're going to be back?
放到那边。
You're not local. Come on, it's part of the transformation process. You need to have your picture taken. Nice.
Look, you want to see it? Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Very nice. There, she's got it. All right. Here we go. All right, what do you think about that? All right, look right here. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. Good job. All right. Anybody else? All right, good man. Good man. That's right. Awesome. There you go. Hey, there's a Texas connection. All right, nicely done. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
有意思。
Anybody else? All right, well, let's keep moving then. Come this way. Come on, right in here.
Here?
You can walk down front if you'd like.
这是那个
这是转播席。
转播室。
Oh, it's dangerous. It's too dangerous. This is very dangerous. This is off the freeway. It's too dangerous. I'll get hooked.
Alright, so now we're on the media level. So all these booths, like this one and all the booths to the left of us, are media related. So this used to be the Angels Spanish language radio broadcast booth. It's now used for baseball operations, goes from the visiting team. So the Tampa Bay Rays were here most recently, and if you look on the outside of the door of the office here, you'll see that there's a plaque there for them. They switch that every time the team comes to town. Right to your immediate left, that would be the visiting team's baseball broadcast booth, and right next to that is our hometown baseball TV broadcast booth. So Victor Rojas and Mark Gubazov, they broadcast from over there. You see that drape, and you'll see it if you watch them on TV, and they'll see that drape. They stand in front of it for stand-up screen, of course, the broadcast. And then we've got Angels Radio, Visitors Radio, and on down all the way at the very end. The only booth that's behind glass is the guys who run all the special effects, the scoreboards. They're down at the very end behind there. You see two booths down there with glass. That's for all those folks. But as you can see, there's a heck of a view. Now, interesting thing about this booth, when it was used for Spanish language radio, Jose Mota is one of our broadcasters, and he was doing our Spanish language broadcast. Now, Jose Mota is the son of former Major League player Manny Mota, and Jose did play professional baseball as well, but only at the minor league level. And he realized he wasn't going to make it to the big leagues, so he switched to broadcasting. He turned out to be a great broadcaster. But because he was a ball player, he would come up here, and because, as you notice, it's an open-air booth, and so sometimes foul balls that go straight back into these open booths. Well, Jose knew this, and so he would bring his glove with him. He would sit down front in the far right chair, and occasionally balls would come whizzing into this booth, and if he could catch it, he'd stick up his hand, he'd catch it. 2 seasons ago, Jose Mota caught 23 foul balls that season. Now, he didn't catch all of them. He got a big hole in the wall back over here. He missed one there, and then as you go out of the booth, if you notice by the phone on the wall back there, you'll see a big dent in the wall. That's another one he missed. But these other booths that are open air, there's a lot of dents in those walls because those guys, they don't wear gloves, and all they're doing is just trying to get out of the way. Those balls are coming in here at 90 miles an hour when they get fouled back here, so everybody's ducking. Nobody's sticking out a bare hand, I can tell you that much. But it's a great place to view a game. I mean, you look out here and you go, wow, this would be a nice place to sit and watch. And of course, you can see some of the special features of our field. I mean, if you look straight away center field, our big rock formation. Now, if you've gone to games, you know that there's a waterfall that flows down there during the course of the games. This whole outfield area you're looking at, this was all designed by the Disney Imagineers designed this. Because we used to have the Rams. They moved in here, and the Los Angeles Rams played football here, 1980 to 1994. And they closed the stadium. So between the foul poles, that was all seats for football. They increased seating capacity to about 80,000 people for football. When the Rams moved to St. Louis, they tore all those seats out, and we returned to a baseball-only stadium. And that's when Disney remodeled this for us. They designed all of this, including that rock feature. In fact, if you notice in the upper left-hand corner of the rock, you'll see the A for Angels. As I mentioned, you got a waterfall that flows down there. It wouldn't be a Disney feature if it didn't have fireworks. So, of course, fireworks can be shot up out of those rocks when an Angel player hits a home run. Fireworks come out of there during the singing of the national anthem. It's a lot of fun out there, believe me. Just to the right of the rocks is that big, empty, open green space. That's called the batter's eye. Every Major League Baseball field has a batter's eye directly behind the center field fence. And that's to help players, hitters, pick up the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand. Because in the old days of baseball, if you did have seats out there, or sometimes they just had people standing, there were no outfield fences, and had people standing out there in their shirts and their blouses and dresses and so forth, it was hard for players to pick up that little ball coming out of the pitcher's hand. And when it gets to the home plate in less than half a second, there's not a lot of time to recognize where it is and what to do with it, including sometimes ducking to get out of the way. So they created this batter's eye. So all the stadiums have it, even minor league teams have it. Also spring training fields, they all have it. So it's just now part of baseball. But that's what that is. And you'll notice it now when you watch other teams play. You'll see that dead spot. It's something. It could be like that. Artificial grass out there. It could be a tarp. It could be dark green, dark blue, dark black, something like that. It's a solid color out there. Also, you'll notice our scoreboards. They're huge. They were new last season. We spent $20 million for new scoreboards and upgrading all the electronics in the stadium, all the wraparound graphics that go all the way around the inside of the stadium. And if you come to games, I mean, when those things are in use, I mean, the clarity is amazing. You think you're in your living room. The pictures are that crystal clear. It's pretty exciting. Now, of course, what's really fun is you look just to the left of the rocks, you'll see the big blue Sherwin-Williams pink can with $1 million sign under it. Well, that showed up 3 seasons ago. Sherwin-Williams came to the Angels and said, hey, look, we will donate $1 million to your charitable foundation if you'll let us put one of our big oversized paint cans out there and an Angel player hits a home run and the ball goes into the can. So it's got to go on the fly, go into the can, and stay in the can. It cannot bounce in and out. And so far, no player has done it yet. We did have one player last season, 2 seasons ago, get one in on the bounce, on one bounce, but that doesn't count. Also, you can't tell from here, but the opening on the top of the can, the whole top of the can isn't open. It's just the center. There's a hole about the size of a softball. So, and the can is about 430 feet away from home. So it's a very long home run. But we're still back. No player, visiting or home team, has put a ball in that can yet. But we're still waiting.
这种就是天
So it's a
降
nice
神
thing to endorse. Of course, William loves advertising, but our foundation is sure hoping to get that $1 million.
你可以
someday.
告诉
So we'll
我
see. Any questions? All right, let's keep going. Head to the elevator.
讲起来生气，其实
We're gonna go down to the dugout down there.
I didn't think anybody got it in there yet. Oh. Oh, it's hot. Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Oh, there you go.
Come on, folks, get a roll.
这个也是吗？
嗯，
Where's my elevator operator? Where'd she go? Oh, she is. We are going to go to the S level, like service.
Okay. Is that up?
Nope,
Oh, down.
it's down.
Down.
You'll see the S on the panel. Come on, we got lots of room. Big old empty space in the middle. Come on, here we go. All right. Okay. Oh, you're coming in? All right. Lots of room. Love the Howie Kendrick shirt. Very nice. And he's still playing.
Yeah, I know.
He's playing
well.
I know. That's amazing.
Oh, okay. There you
He's still
go.
hitting too.
I know. It's just amazing, isn't it? All right. Come on out here. We're waiting for everybody else.
Clubhouse. 他那个好的只能看这个客队的那个差异的。
Yeah. All right.
小心小心。
All right, come on out here. Now you notice it got real nice. Well, that's because this is the players level. So this is where the locker rooms are, the clubhouses. So over here to your left, that's the Angels clubhouse. That's where the Angels players get ready for games over there. And then to your right, that's the visitors clubhouse. We're not allowed in the Angels clubhouse, but we can go in the visitors. So we'll go in there in just a minute. But it's a nice, comfortable area out here. Now, because, we set this up pretty nice with nice, comfy chairs. It looks really nice. Well, there's a reason for that. Because there is a rule in baseball called the non-fraternization rule. Big word, just means players in one clubhouse may not go visit players in the other clubhouse. So you may have your best friend in all of baseball in town playing for the visiting team. You can't go in the clubhouse and say hi to them, okay?
Here.
Not allowed. You can meet out here. So this is considered neutral. This is Switzerland right here, all right? So they can all meet out here and mingle and chat. Although these days, used to be you'd never talk to an opposing player on the field, like pregame. They do it all the time now. They're hugging and kissing and shaking hands. That rule went out a long time ago, but now the clubhouse rule is still in effect. Also, sometimes you'll have players' families, their wives or family members will also come down here and wait for players to come out of the clubhouse so they can go home, go get something to eat, whatever it is they're going to do. So it's really nice. But it's very nicely appointed. It's very comfortable. Now, folks, typically somebody always asks me at least once during the course of the day about the ATM machine over here against the wall. All right. Well, there is not a rule in baseball, but there is a tradition in baseball, and that is the visiting players, they tip the man who is the visiting team's clubhouse attendant. Okay, he's the clubhouse manager. He takes care of those guys while they're here. And we'll talk about that a little more once we get in there. So, but the deal is that he takes really good care of these guys when they're in Anaheim, and then they tip him in cash when they leave. So baseball players are no different than the rest of us. These days, nobody carries a whole lot of cash on them. They use cards for everything. Ball players are no different. So we've got an ATM set up, and of course our players, anybody can use it, but it does encourage the visiting players. They can't give the excuse of, I don't have any cash. No, there it is. So now, when I started working here, and I go, hey, this is great. I assumed that ATM was for you folks to get cash to tip your tour guide. But I was quickly dissuaded of that idea. I was told, no, that's not the case, so that's okay. But it is kind of a nice, handy thing to have for the players there. So the other thing that's handy, we're going to take a quick look at right behind this wall, and that's the manager's interview room. So let's step into here real quick. Sit down if you like.
Oh, 又有一个。
这应该是媒体的，媒体采访。
Okay.
Union College.
太近了，近
So come on in. So now we're just on the third floor, and you're in our large, press conference room. Well, there's another rule in baseball, and that is the manager must meet with the media after every home game. So for decades, our manager would go from the manager's office in the locker room, which is right on the other side of this wall, exit the clubhouse, get in the elevator or take the stairs, go to the third floor to that big conference room, meet with the press, and answer all their questions for 20, 30 minutes post-game, and then come back down, shower, change, go home. So this went on for decades. So our most recent manager before Brett Osmus was Mike Scioscia. Mike Scioscia was our manager for 19 seasons, the longest of any Angel manager in the history of the Angels. It was Mike Scioscia who asked at one point in his tenure, he asked somebody, he said, is it possible to find another place so I can do these post-game interviews? He said, I've been doing this for a long time. Got to get out, got to go upstairs, do that, come back down. He says, is there someplace closer to the clubhouse? Well, this used to be 2 storage rooms. There was a wall down the middle, had the 2 doors, okay, came in just for storage, had a bunch of boxes and who knows what in here. Somebody had the bright idea when he mentioned that, I go, hey, you know what, we've got those storage rooms right next to the manager's office. We got plenty of space. We got to be able to find someplace to put all the stuff that's here, and we can convert this into a manager's interview room. And that's exactly what happened. So you notice the raised platform just in the back, just like on the 3rd floor for the TV cameras. Smaller scale, because remember, it's just for the manager, basically. They'll do occasional player interviews here, but typically it's just reserved for the manager. And we call it the Mike Scioscia interview room because it was Mike Scioscia's idea. So we're happy that Brad Osmus is the beneficiary. He's thrilled to just be able to walk from there to here. So, and of course, these days he takes a grilling this year because we're not doing so good. So he's happy to get it over with and get back into the clubhouse, let me tell you. But it's another great place to get photos. So if you want to get a nice picture, we've had, it's funny, we've had folks come back and write to us, email us. They've taken this beautiful background and it's turned into their Christmas card from December. So I encourage you please to get a photo up here, and who knows, you may want to use it for your Christmas
I
card.
have a question about the sponsors in the back.
Yes.
What are they or?
Funai is a Japanese electronics.
没人手拍一张。
And they are new this year. We have a number of new Japanese sponsors this year. Thanks to showing us. All right, let's go over here. Here we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Very, very nice. All right, who's next?
修好啊。有机会吗？没机会。
You're welcome. All right, man.
Yeah, there's usually someone up there.
All right, there you go. All right. You got to tell us how we're going to improve the team next year. All right.
More pitching.
Yes, lots of new pitching. That'd be nice. All right, great.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You go? Okay, go. Pedro? Wait, you go.
I will.
Okay, good job.
All right.
That's it.
Good photo.
Take that.
You gonna hold on to it for us?
There you go. Nice. All right. Okay. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. You're welcome. Who's next? All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good deal. Very nice. Another? Oh, yes. If you watch our broadcast, Alex Curry is one of our broadcasters, and she does a lot of on-field interviews and so forth. This is her chair. It's funny, in duct tape, reserved Alex. Yeah. So that's for Alex. She gets the front seat right here. All right. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. You're welcome. And oh, pretty well. All right.
这张有没有？这张好看。喜欢这张。
Wasn't that a great win we had last
All
night?
right. There we go. Got a 1-game winning streak. I love it. All right. Big smile.
Thank you. Good job.
Okay. Yeah, I can send it to you. You got it? Okay.
Alright, got it.
Anybody else? Out of towners? See, he wants. Yeah. Come on.
Go ahead, Pedro.
Good deal. All right. Anybody else? That's it?
No?
All right. We're going to head into the visitors clubhouse. Now, a couple of rules, though, about the visitors clubhouse. You can sit anywhere. So there's chairs in front of all the players' lockers. There's some nice, comfy, overstuffed rocking chairs, like the red ones out here. Real comfy. Adults, I suggest you hurry to snag them because the kids always get them first. So shove them out of the way and get to those good chairs. But please do not pick up or touch anything in the clubhouse, okay? All right. I'm gonna switch.
What is this place?
This is the visiting locker room for when the other teams come to town. This is where they change clothes to go play baseball. Wait for some folks here. All right, come on. Watch that door. Very heavy.
Bienvenida.
Sit down anywhere.
아, 好舒服。 어, 맞아.
带你们 look around。
I could just grab that chair there for a second, put it on your shoes. Yeah. Daddy. Yes.
All right, you guys, I'm sorry. We have a little change of plan there. My name's Rick. I'm going to finish this up before Craig says something about you. Didn't get along with you guys or something, so I don't know what happened, what you did to him, but I got it. All right, you're the visiting team. Where'd you just come from? All right, I'll use it. All right, you just came from San Francisco. You played in San Francisco last night, okay? Don't video me, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, don't video, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Somebody put me on YouTube about 2 weeks ago. And,
I'm so sorry about that.
without telling me, and I got a little heat from the boss. So, you played in San Francisco last night. The game ended probably about 10:30. You went into the locker room and you took off your uniform. Somebody, not you, somebody picked up all your dirty uniforms and put them in bags. Those bags are called dirt bags. They then took them to the airport, put them on a plane, and sent them to us. We got all your dirty uniforms about 3 in the morning. All right? We brought them to the stadium. We washed them all. We ironed them all. And then we hung them up in the lockers. Now, it's not random. We got from your coach, we got a seating chart where he wanted each of you. So your name would be here. All your uniforms would be lined up. All right? When I say uniforms, you got a batting practice uniform. You got a uniform if you're going to go in the weight room and work out. You got, stretchy pants if you're going to go in the cafeteria and eat for a while. You got 3 or 4 jackets. Lightweight, heavyweight, medium weight, blah, blah, blah weight. Undershirts. You've got long sleeve, 3/4 sleeve, half sleeve, no sleeve, all lined up in there. You should see some of these guys with their shoes. I'm serious. They're only here for 3 days, but they'll have 20 pairs of cleats and tennis shoes and shower shoes and everything all in there. So when you walk in the door, all of that is taken care of. With your name up there, everything's there, your hat, glove up above. And when I said it's not random, okay? Where's my school kids at? My school kids that go to school? Does your teacher tell you where to sit in your classroom?
Yes.
Yes, all right? And maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe these 2 players don't get along very good. All right, just because they're on a baseball team doesn't mean that they get along. So he might put them in opposite ends of this room. Or maybe this fella here, he's been on the team for 15 years. And this guy's brand new rookie. He doesn't know how to act. All right? So the coach says, I'm going to put their lockers side by side. Every city that we go to, their lockers are side by side so he can teach him how to be a Major League Baseball player. All right? This room would not look like this when you come in. It would be packed with gear, 25 men. All right? We have no female players yet in the major leagues. So 25 men in here, 11 coaches in here. Every single TV would be on. Stereo will be blasting. These guys might be watching TV. There might be a card game going on right here with a pile of money, guys playing poker. There might be guys eating, going to the cafeteria, walking around eating. It just is totally different than this quiet, nice little room you see now. All right, it's basically chaos is what it is in here. Now the coach writes down, right behind your head there, he writes down that whiteboard what time he wants the players on the field. So he writes for stretching is the first thing, batting practice, national anthem, and then the game time. He writes that down on the field. All right? Players walk in like you guys did. They go, wow, I got 2 hours to kill. I'm going to go get something to eat in the cafeteria. I'm going to go work out in the weight room. You know what? We flew in from San Francisco last night, didn't get to the hotel until 1 a.m. I'm just going to take a nap. I'm just going to sit down and take a nap. So all of the players do whatever they want until it's time for them to be on the field. All right? Sorry about this. That was in that last tour. Some kid moved that over there. All right, you got your uniforms on. Everybody stand up. You got your uniforms on. You had something to eat. You got a little workout in. Ladies, all the ladies follow me first.
That's all.
Ladies only first.
Who's going to Alex? No. We're going to lunch?
Not part of the tour. Not part of the tour, but I think it's funny.
I'm really starving. What can we eat? Where are we driving to?
To be determined.
My stomach really hurts.
Man, if you want to take a peek real quick, I was just showing them the shower room and all of the hair products, hairspray, gel, aftershave lotion. It's like, oh my gosh. Dang.
I thought it was turning it on.
All right, 54 years. 54 years. I'm sure Craig told you, fourth oldest stadium in all of America. Every single visiting team that's played against the Angels was in this room. All right? There's no other room. Nothing's been moved or changed. It was this room. 3 All-Star games. So the National League team would be in this room. Okay? As you walk by on your left, you'll see this is the training room. We just provide them a big room. Every team brings their own trainers. Here we go. Okay, you are now under the seats. You walked on a rubber floor because you got your cleats on, right? Your metal cleats. So you walked on the rubber floor. This is the way it looks like underneath the whole stadium. It's all tunnels everywhere underneath the stadium. Large rooms underneath here for, you know, air conditioning, mechanical rooms, electrical rooms. There's 2 huge kitchens underneath the stadium where they pre-cook food to send up to certain snack bars and restaurants. So this is what it looks like underneath the stadium, all tunneled like this. We're going to go down the stairs, so they're kind of steep, so be careful.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Visiting side. This is the visiting side. So we were just talking up here in front. That's kind of surprising. That's a long ways away.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought, you know, just my vision was the locker room is right behind the dugout. You know, the player goes down the stairs, he's going to his locker, you know, to get, you know, a stick of gum or whatever. But that's a long ways to go, so they don't go to their lockers usually. There's a restroom right here. But this is the visiting side. We're going to go to the Angels side. Yeah, we'll come right and reach in just a second. All right, guys. So I'm just going to close this for a second, show you what it looks like. These doors would never, ever be open. All right? Always locked because the players are on this side. The visiting players are milling around in the air and everything. And on the other side of these doors are fans. So these are always locked. There's usually a security guard that sits right here just to make sure, well, you have to sit from the inside, to make sure that no one ever goes either side of this. I've got a request for you. We're going to go through these doors. When you pass through these doors, be perfectly quiet for 30 seconds. Look. We're going to walk. Look left. Look right. Look left. Look right. And then we'll turn it all back to the middle. All right, good job, you guys. All right, it doesn't really look like the 4th oldest stadium in all of Major League Baseball, does it, down here? It's almost like a nice hotel lobby or something. This is called the Dugout Suites. These were dug out in 1998 when we had our big remodel. There's 10 suites. 10 suites. They're a small room with a kitchenette and their own bathroom. You probably saw some of the names on the doors. Big companies, big corporations that you have to purchase them for the entire season. You have to have it for the entire season, so it'll be 81 games. They only hold 12 people in each suite. All right? So that's why you see big names on the doors. This last year, they were $250,000 for the season. And we already have a waiting list for next year. That does not include any food. Above and beyond that, you can order whatever kind of food you want to be set up down in your suite. All right? So the people that are in the suites would come down the elevator, they'd come down there, walk right on up, they would check in here, and then they would go to their suites. The other thing we saw was the visiting batting cage. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Those of us that are employees that work here during the games, we call this the library because there's one person who sits here. People will come in they'll check in, and they'll go to the suite, close the door. So there's never anybody down here. It's completely quiet, completely dead. It's the most boring place in the stadium right here, so they call it the library. All right. These doors here, as you walk by, look through the doors. It's stairs that go up to home plate. All right, stairs go up to home plate. Who do you think would use these doors? Now remember, there's no players in here.
Umpires?
Oh, the umpires. Umpires and the national anthem singer. They have a little room as you walk by. You just look at it. A star dressing room, it's called. They warm up in there, and then it's right behind the plate. You guys have seen it on TV, or when you come to game, the gate opens and they duck, and they're right behind home plate.
If you could sing the national anthem, you could be down here.
This is the umpire's locker room. Umpire's locker room. Major League Baseball has a rule. No one's allowed to talk to an umpire before a game or after a game. So we have a security guard who stands right here. When the umpires say they're ready, he walks them from here to there to make sure nobody tries to, slip them a 20 or something. When the game's over, he waits by the white doors until the umpires come down the stairs, and he walks them from there back over to here. Make sure no one tries to beat him up or anything, Because you can imagine there would be fans that would be exiting on their way out of the suites to go to the elevator. Now, we don't discriminate against anybody here at the stadium, so as you walk by, you'll notice that we wrote it in Braille so the blind umpires can find the locker room.
瞎子那个裁判也可以找到这上面那个盲人，盲人，瞎子裁判也可以找得到。这个迷路。那个盲人。 温州体育馆跟这个比赛。
At the other end, you saw the visiting batting cage. Under the stadium, you never get to see it on TV. You never get to see it when you come to a game. This is the Angels batting cage. Probably 3 times as large. It has more amenities. It's got a room here, a video replay room. I was mentioning a couple things I was surprised about when I got this job 5 years ago. One of the other things I was surprised about is the amount of activity that takes place in here. The players are in there before the game. They're in here during the game. They may be in here after the game. The best example I got several examples. One of them, Albert Pujols. Usually, he was until everybody's gotten hurt, was our designated hitter. He doesn't want to sit on the bench for 3.5 hours. So he's down here riding the stationary bike, he's swinging, he's batting, he's staying warm and sweaty, and then when it's his turn to bat, he goes up the stairs and goes to bat. So he's down here all the time. Another example is, let's say I am the first batter of the 2nd inning, and I strike out horribly, all right, just terrible. Well, rather than go sit on the bench and be mad about it, I'm going to come right down the stairs. I'm going to go in that room. The hitting coach is in there waiting for me. He's already queued up my at-bat, and we're going to pull replays of me striking out over and over again. And try to think, what was it? What did I do? Was it my hands? Was it my trunk? What was it that made me strike out so bad? We're going to watch it several times in that room. Oh, that's what, look, you turned your chin too soon. Gonna put me in the cage, pitch 10 or 12 balls until I fix it, and then, all right, let's go back on the bench. This is all why the game is going on. It goes on the whole game, so no one ever gets to see that.
Yeah.
Now, I have spent a lot, 1 month. The windows down there at the visiting clubhouse is regular glass. So if we're in one of these suites, it's free to walk down there and get up against the window and do whatever you want to try to distract those visiting players. And we kind of encourage it. You want to press your face up there. This glass is a one-way mirror. So we can watch and the players have no idea we're out here. I can't tell you how much time I have spent in the last year and a half watching Shohei Ohtani. I stand right here and I watch him for 20 minutes, a half hour. He has no idea I'm here, and it's just so interesting and intriguing if you're a baseball fan to watch a player working at trying to fix whatever their problem is. So pretty neat. All right, ready?
你退休以后好工作。
可以的，可以的，就这样也可以。
下场地了。
Real quick, real quick. Angel side. This is the side the Angels come down. Just a flip-flop of the visiting side. Now, I only stopped you here because it's probably a super boring place in the stadium, but there's a reason for that. There used to be a drinking fountain here. I would say there's been over 50 drinking fountains installed right there. There used to be an ice machine over here. There used to be a refrigerator full of Gatorade and drinks right here. You guys with me? Yeah. I'm a Major League Baseball player. I'm in a slump. I just struck out for the 20th time, and I have a bat in my hands. I'm going to come down those stairs because now the fans can't see me. The TV cameras can't see me, and I'm just going to destroy everything down here. This went on for year after year after year until finally the manager said, that's it, we're done. Took everything out and put the bag up there. Told him, go down and hit the bag and then come back and sit on the bench when you get done. The best one for those of you that are real baseball fans, here, just one real quick. Chris Sale. Chris Sale is a pitcher now for Boston, but he was on the Chicago White Sox. Pitching a great game, 3-0. White Sox are ahead here. And all of a sudden, he gave up a grand slam to Mike Trout. 4-3, Angels go ahead. He drops to this position. The manager walks out. Chris Sale is a hothead to begin with, and you can see him just getting hotter and hotter as the manager's walking out. And he finally, takes the ball from him, and you're out of the game, He walks back to the visiting side, walks there, reaches over the rail, grabs a bat, comes down the stairs, and they're the same, they're identical. See that black ball right there above your head? Mm-hmm. That's a $12,000 security camera. Chris Sale hit a home run with that thing. It just destroyed it. And so all the guys in the security office were all watching all their cameras, and also one of them just went poof. So the Angels sent him a $12,000 bill, which he wrote a check for the next week. And we didn't get an apology, but we got a check. All right. Last thing, we're going to go in the dugout. The grounds crew has just fertilized this morning, so they requested us not to touch the grass. So we're going to go to the dugout and then check that out, talk for a minute, and then we're going to walk on the warning track real quick.
是给你扇的，又不是给你扇的。你看，你看。
啊，这里就是我们上次看到那个小朋友坐的地方。
嗯。
I'm gonna talk right here so you can hear me, alright? Yeah. Alright, you guys, you are in the Angels dugout. One of the only places in the stadium where it's basically the exact same as the visiting team. You know, home teams always take advantage. A larger clubhouse, a larger batting cage, nicer, everything. But here, with the dugouts, they're the exact same. If you notice, the only difference is we've got it in ours painted in angel red, and of course we have theirs in visitor pink. It's been studies have been done that pink is a less aggressive, calming color. So we want the other team not to be aggressive. Right? 19 years. 19 years. Those of you that are Angel fans watched Mike Scioscia standing right here, just like this, elbow on the pad, leg up on those. He can talk to all of his players. He can communicate what he wants to say to them. He can communicate with the third base coach. Mike Scioscia was one of the few managers. He used to be a catcher for a blue and white team that I don't talk about, but he used to be a catcher, and so he called up until the day he retired. He called every single pitch, which means he sat right here, he'd look at the catcher, and he would give signs on his face of what pitch he wanted. The catcher would then relay the sign to the pitcher. Right up until the day he retired, he was still calling every pitch of the game. So, last year, this is our first year without him. Some of us that are big Angel fans are, you know, it's tough for us, but not seeing him here in this spot. Yeah, yes, exactly. Few things, let's see. Going back in time, dugouts used to be smaller, including this one. It used to be smaller back here, you know, almost to this line, really. And then they started, you know, making them bigger and a little more amenities. Some of you might remember, we had no fence, we had no benches, and then we spent $83 million for a guy named Mo Vaughn. We got him from the Boston Red Sox. He was this huge home run hitter. Opening day, the very first day of the season, he's playing first base. He starts to go back for a foul ball, looks up at the sun, trips and falls down the steps. Tore all the ligaments in his ankle, was never the same player. The Angels immediately asked Major League Baseball, hey, can we put fences up to protect, you know, the dugout? They said, absolutely, it's a safety issue. We put up the fences. Well, all the players, you know, sat back here all the time. And so after about 2 years, they started complaining like, hey, we can't see the game anymore. So then someone designed these benches up front. And now when you guys are looking, flipping channels of other games, this is really what every stadium has. The players love it. You guys can see how you're part of the game. You're right there. The guy on third base, you can holler at him, call him names, whatever. Foul ball comes, you just duck a little bit, and you're safe. Only one stadium in America that's left that does not have fences in front to protect the players. Sir? Ah. Oh, it's close. Oakland Athletics. All right, next time the Angels are playing in Oakland, turn it on, and you'll see it. All the players are sitting here, and every foul ball comes zipping right in, and they all dive out of the way and hit the water jug, and everything. It's still chaos. So, yeah, the only stadium left. Back to your comment there that Wrigley just did a $600 million renovation. Took them 5 years, and one of the last things they did, I was there in year 4 of the renovation, and the dugouts still would be probably smaller than that line. You had the players had to walk like this to get through the dugout. And one of the last things they did was dig them out and push them forward. So, yeah. All right. on. Any questions at all? Yeah. You are a plant. He's a plant. All right. Those of you that are Angel fans, everybody look. Right there, that very first suite that's right behind home plate. Look out in the outfield and see the green tarp in the rock pile? That's where the TV camera is. It goes right, it points right through the pitcher, right through the batter and the catcher, and goes right into that suite. So every single pitch you see the people in that suite. He's asking the same thing that I asked when I got this job. Who in the heck are the knuckleheads that are in that suite that don't wear any Angel gear? They're there every single night and they never have on a hat or a shirt or anything. Well, I was quickly advised to tone it down. That's the Scott Boras suite. Scott Boras is the #1 agent in all of Major League Baseball. He's the Jerry Maguire of our time. He has over 170 baseball players that he represents. He does not allow anybody in his suite to wear any team's gear. So night after night, they wear black or gray, boring outfits. There you go. So that's Scott Boras. All right, last thing, we're gonna go walk behind home plate. Please do not step on the grass. I just don't like the abuse. The groundskeeper will come running out from the outfield and holler at me. So we're gonna walk along the warning track, and we're gonna go out the front. Have you guys go back to the elevator and meet us at 1. Meet you right at the trophy. Go straight up and right there. All right, here we go.
因为房间里面人他是不穿长衣的，因为看我们是有经济的，他代表超170个级别，里面球队不允许穿那个内部球队型。
Is that where he stands right there?
As we were down in the hallway, that was the other side of the suites.
我都不会碰到。
Look down the stairs, you'll see 2 doors. This one on the left is this suite. All right. Behind, down there, is a small suite, couches, kitchenette, bathroom, all air conditioned. They have dinner down there, cocktails, whatever. And then when the game starts, they come up the stairs, and those 12 people from that suite sit here. The people in that suite, those are their 12 seats. So there's the 10 different suites that we were talking about down below. And this is the Boras suite. Sir, the other one you may have noticed is suite #1. He's actually my favorite guy. And that's why I'm doing this with the mustache. I'm growing it out. It's a guy who's got this huge white mustache. And he has suite #1. Every night, he has his left shoulder against that plexiglass there. His right hand, he has a cocktail. And all night long, he talks to the on-deck batter, who's right in front of his suite. And so he's just talking away. They all know him. And he ex-Keith, I did some research on it. And he's a custom home builder. And that's what he does night after night after work. All right, watch your head, you guys. Everybody watch your head. This is real low.
Alex?
As we go by, you'll see the stairs where the umpires come. Where we go through.
快看一下。
这样子帮我们拍照。
Thank you, thank you.
Wouldn't it if you just did a water check? Yeah, he doesn't always look.
有住的第一层的感觉。
It's a different world.
你可以你的车可以停在那个我们接到的地方。
This right here, this big red, this big gray roller door, that's Artie Marino's suite. So the owner of the team, when he looked in the Autry suite, we told him, you're the new owner, this is your suite, or this is the owner's suite. He said, oh, no, there's way too much history in this room. I'm gonna leave this to Mrs. Autry. I'll build my suite somewhere else. So his suite is right here, one level below the Autry suite that you guys were already in. All right, let's go. Yes, that's something new that we started last year.
Wow, that's nice.
看最后一眼，
Welcome to the Big A.
快看最后一眼，我就走了。Bye Big A。黑乎乎的，逆光，
腻了吗？
就看见一个黑影。
Baseball cards. Cool. There you go. Yeah, Haney. There you go. Let me take a look real quick. All right, you guys got any questions for me before we go? Any questions? You didn't get one yet? Well, because you were so good about it, you're going to get two. You got it? You got it? Somebody went through this box. Somebody went through this box already. Now I'm going to show you. Two things that are not in here. One's called a white trout and a showy otani. Somebody went through this whole box and took it all out. Oh, that's
幸福哦。老公，你也加油哦。
好，做一个结束语。
好，今天我们参观完了整一个过程，然后我们接下来要进行下一个旅程了。Peace。